Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Cardfight Vanguard video for you guys today, and today we are talking about Ezel. So as you guys could probably tell from the way I said that, I'm not super excited about this because Ezel has some problems and we're going to talk about that today. But as always, we're going to talk about the support, talk about the deck build, and go jump into a game. So if you guys enjoy this kind of content, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's jump in and let's talk about Ezel. So, Ezel's been around for a little bit, and it has never been good. And now with the release of Platinum Ezel, and we have two other support cards, one of which I haven't found a good reason to use. And then we have this grade 2, which is like borderline good, but again, it has some problems, and we're going to talk about all that. So the biggest thing holding Ezel back is its own restriction. So if anybody that doesn't know, a lot of Ezel's cards have a restriction of open rearguard circle, and you're gonna see how that kind of clashes with the deck. And in any card game, I don't like decks that have to play around their own mechanic. Like if it happens naturally, that's one thing, but this is very not natural. And again, you'll see what I mean when we talk about the support, but let's jump in. So Crimson Lion Cub Criff, that's our starter, we need that. Knight of Elegant Skills Gareth. When this unit is rode upon by Knight of Superior Skills Bowmains, search your deck for a reigning Supreme King of Beasts, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle the deck. That is our grade 3 order. The cool thing about that is we don't need very many copies of it, and we'll still be able to use it basically every turn, especially with the way Platinum Ezel now works. It also has a rearguard skill during your turn if you have a Vanguard with Ezel's card. We have 2,000 power. Don't worry about that, we're never going to use it. Bowmains. Act Vanguard Circle once per turn. If your soul has Knight of Elegant Skills Gareth and Crimson Lion Cub Criff, discard a card from your hand, choose a up to 1 incandescent line Blonde Ezel from your ride deck and ride it as stand, and it gets drive -1 till end of turn. Then it has another power boost if it's on the rear guard again. That doesn't matter. Basically, this allows you to ride to grade 3 even if your opponent's at grade 1. So if you went first, you can get to grade 3 with your opponent at grade 1, which is dope. And then you can also get to grade 3 with your opponent at grade 2 if you went second. Downsides, you have to discard for ride, you have to discard to do the superior ride, and you're knocked down to 1 drive check on that turn. Sometimes riding up to grade 3 too fast actually helps your opponent, because a lot of decks now have grade 3 restrictions as far as your opponent's Vanguard, and you don't want to let your opponent explode on you that fast. But getting to grade 3 with your opponent at grade 1 can be fire because you get access to all of your support. And once we talk about the rest of the deck plays, you'll see why that's really good now. Now, Incandescent Lion Blonde Ezel. You can only ride cards with Ezel in their card name, so you can't superior ride into this and then ride into a different grade 3. Now, Ezel's skills matter, even though Ezel does not stay as our Vanguard very long in the way this deck plays now. At the beginning of your ride phase, if you have 3 or less units, Soul Blast 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 a grade 3 or less unit card from among them, call it to an open rearguard circle, and put the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order. Free, do it every turn. That's it. That's very, very old school Gold Paladin. Auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 2 grade 3 or less unit cards from among them, call them to open rear guards, and this unit gets 10,000 power until end of turn. Shuffle your deck. See, that skill would be fantastic if it weren't for that one fucking word. Open. Basically, this allows you to get up to 5 attacks super easily. Like, Ezel can carry the deck if you have a way to clear out your own front row, which is a problem because there aren't a lot of cards that clear out your own front row. And I thought Platinum Ezel would be the fix for that, but it's not. It's not. So, what does Platinum Ezel do? Blazing Lion Platinum Ezel. Continuous Vanguard Circle. If your soul has an Incandescent Lion Blonde Ezel, this unit gets all of the following. Continuous, all of their auto abilities, and power plus 2,000. So basically, you're going to go into Ezel, then you're going to go into Platinum. Platinum sits at 15 on both players' turns, and it gets all the abilities of Ezel. So the start of turn skill to call a dude, the unattack to call dudes. Alright. Act Vanguard Circle. Either counterblast 1 or put one of your grade 3 or greater Ezel from the rear guard into the soul. So if we had other copies of Ezel or himself. Choose a Reign Supreme King of Beasts from your drop, put it into your hand, and this unit gets 5,000 power till end of turn, so that puts him up to 20 for the turn. And if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, perform all of the following. This unit gets all of your front or rear guards, get plus 5,000 power. If you have 4 or more damage, cards in your damage zone, sorry. This unit gets plus 1 critical, almost like a pseudo limit break, which Ezel's from the limit break era, so that's cool. So here's another problem with this deck. Now, looking at these cards again. You don't do anything unless your opponent's at grade 3. Ezel's effects are, well, it's on attack skill. It has to be attacking a grade 3 or greater Vanguard. So if your opponent's not at grade 3, you don't get any extra attacks. And because of the way Platinum Ezel works, if you're going first and you ride into this turn 3, you know, you superior ride into Ezel, Blonde Ezel turn 2, ride into this turn 3, it doesn't get the on attack skill either. And it literally just becomes get back the order and gain 5k and nothing else. So between the two restrictions, it really brings this deck down. But let's talk about the rest of the deck. So we have a few 4-ofs. Because of the way the deck operates, we need to run them at 4. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So we got Knight of Piercing Eye, Atheltus. I think I said that right. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Ezel and its card name, perform one of the following. Choose up to one of your Vanguards, and it gets all of your front or rear guards get 5,000 power until the end of turn. If you chose it, put this unit to the bottom of the deck at the end of that battle. So basically, you swing, give the Vanguard skill, everything gains 5k. Bottom deck this guy. Good, because he clears himself out. Choose one of your back row rear guards with only gold paladin for its clan, return it to the hand at the end of the battle. You get to do one or the other. You usually gotta do the first one. So this is one of those cards we have to run as a 4-of because it is able to clear itself from the front row, which opens it up for Ezel's skill. We got Tethvault. No, we're not full-blown playing the Keter pile, but the ride line searches an order that you're gonna play turn 2, which also turns Tethvault on, which allows you to rebuild the board. And because of the way Platinum Ezel works, getting back your order every turn, you're always going to be able to use Tethvault. And she's a good beat stick, especially once your opponent gets to grade 3. That extra 10k really matters because think about it. She's going to have an extra 10k. Ezel's going to give your front row rear guards 5k. And then if you use the grade 2 we just talked about, that's another 5k. She'll be 30k by herself, which is solid. The problem with Tethvault is she doesn't clear herself from the front row. So if you have Tethvault in your front row, it actually cock blocks you from getting 4 or potentially 5 attacks, which is bad. Now we have our new grade 2. This one just came out. This one just got announced with new Ezel, with Platinum Ezel. Slash Feather Dragon. I want this card to be good, but it's wildly mediocre. If you have a grade 3 greater Vanguard Ezel and its card name, this unit gets all of the following, which you're gonna have grade 3 by turn 2. It's kind of the goal. When the unit is placed on rear guard, counterblast 1 and perform either draw a card or choose an incandescent line Blonde Ezel on your Vanguard and increase or decrease its drive to 2 till end of turn. Basically, it has that counterblast skill, and the reason it's split up into 2 is because if you're already on Ezel, you don't need to worry about that. You can still draw a card. But if you play this turn 2, you can counterblast 1, and now remember how we reduced our drive to 1 with the ride line? You can superior ride into Ezel and still get twin drive. Okay, that's okay. The little hefty for a counterblast, considering the deck is a counterblast, a kind of counterblast heavy deck. Fine, it's okay. The second skill though is so fucking frustrating. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, you may have this unit gain 5,000 power until end of battle. If you did, at the end of battle, put this unit to the bottom of your deck. Energy Blast 3 and draw a card. So he's basically a vanilla, unless your opponent's at grade 3. And he falls into the same problem. He only clears himself once your opponent's at grade 3, but apparently the whole deck doesn't turn on until your opponent's at grade 3. So it's kind of a problem. We have our PGs. Selgaon is just a great support card, and again, we have an order that we're going to play every turn, so Selgaon is always live. Dindrain. Listener to Dindrain had to be a 4-of. I was running it at 2 or 3, and it has to be a 4-of because of what it does. First up, when this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have a Vanguard with only 1 clan, Soul Blast 2 and Counter Charge 1. We have built-in counter charge into the deck. That is good. That is already good. We do not have a whole lot of Soul Blasts. We will be Soul Blasting 1 every turn for Ezel, and sometimes we will Soul Blast for Tethvault, but that's it. The second skill though, this is why we have to run Dindrain at 4. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a Vanguard with Ezel in its card name, put one other rearguard in the same column as this unit to the bottom of the deck and stand this unit. So you swing with Din Drain boosting something, you put the boosted unit to the bottom of the deck, clearing your front row, and you restand Din Drain to boost on the next attack. This is important because it clears out a rearguard circle in your front row, allowing you to get an extra attack with the Ezels. So that's why we're playing these three specifically at 4, because she can clear out anything in front of her, including a Teth Fault, and these guys can clear themselves, allowing you to get to 5 attacks. Now, the other cards are just tech choices. You don't need to run these, but I kind of like them. First off, we have Battle Sister Coco. If your Vanguard has only one clan and your G-Zone has no cards, this card gets all the following. When this unit is placed on rearguard, put a card from hand to soul. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, choose up to one from among them, put it to your hand, put the rest to the top of the deck or to the soul. So you can either stack the deck or you can give yourself soul support. This deck likes a little bit of soul support. If you put a card into soul by this effect, this unit gains 5,000 power. And then continuous rearguard or guardian circle. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater and your opponent's drive or damage check reveals a trigger unit, this unit gets 10,000 power or 10,000 shield. This thing actually clutched me a game because of that damage skill, because our opponent hit a damage trigger and bumped this up by 10k, which is awesome. Now, last tech choice is Knowledgeable Eagle. I found this one. This is a clan specific support, but it's not necessarily a gold paladin specific support. But Knowledgeable Eagle, Keter Sanctuary. At the end of the battle that this unit boosted, if your Vanguard has only one clan, you may put this unit into the soul, so it's soul support. What I like is the second effect. When this card is soul blasted for the cost of your Vanguard's ability, if your Vanguard has only one clan, soul charge 1. So if we use our beginning of turn skill to soul blast this to call a card off the top, we then get to soul charge to refund the cost. We're playing 2 copies of our order because it's searchable and recyclable. We're also playing Fire Regalis because being able to play a board with just orders without having to play any dudes out of our hand, or if God forbid our hand is awful and we can't play dudes, is still good. And then of course we have our trigger lineup. This deck is going to not super draw a lot of cards, but it does a lot of superior calling. So we blow through our deck without having to play cards from our hand. So we don't want to play too many draw triggers because we're already going to be ripping cards out of the deck. You know what I mean? So I was having a toss up between Valnu and Nyx as far as OTs to play, but this deck calls out a front row when the Vanguard swings. So it's like Valnu's just better. A lot of people say it's the same with Nyx. Like Nyx gives you a counter charge, Nyx heals you a damage. Nyx gets you an extra attack. This gets you an extra 2 attacks. This gets you an extra attack as well, with both attacks being at 100 million as opposed to just 1. In a deck that already makes a front row on the Vanguard swing, not like after the Vanguard swing, or doesn't restand rear guards on the Vanguard swing, Valnu's just better because you're gonna have the standing rear guard. You know what I mean? If it was the other case where you clear out your own front row or you have rear guards that don't restand, then I could see an argument for Nyx. Anyway, this is the deck. Let's go jump into a game and you guys can see it's not just me complaining where the deck has issues. Let's go. Check. All right, guys, we got a game and we're going second. We're gonna send the order back because we can search it. We're gonna keep the fucking rest. I don't think. Oh, is he really playing Mythiarch? I don't. Mytharch. I don't think that has anything that worries about me being at grade 3. So I think we just go ham. We're gonna keep Platinum Ezel because we want to be able to ride Platinum Ezel. That's another thing that this deck has. Like, it has a new Vanguard, but it has no way to get us to ride into said new Vanguard, which I feel like is a problem. Do we call Selgion? Wait till next turn. We have everything we need. We don't necessarily need a dig. I'd rather have a stronger turn 2. All right, we're gonna ditch the order for ride next turn because we can search another the other copy of it. Unless it gets damaged, then we won't. And if it gets damaged, that's just bad luck. We want at least 1 counterblast for our grade 2. Yeah, next turn's gonna be pretty good. All right, our opponent's going for a rush. We have 1 trigger out of what we've seen so far, so I think a damage trigger is highly likely. I'm wrong. I guess we'll guard this. Oh, okay, and then we'll take the second one. That's fine. Oop. Me turn. All right. We're gonna drop our order to ride. Gareth's skill is gonna search us another copy of our order. Shuffle. Main phase. Skill, we're actually going to discard one of the Platina Ezels to ride. So that reduces our drive to 1. Now we're going to play our order, which is look at top 7, choose up to 1 grade 3 less and call it. Considering what we have, I guess we'll call Selgeon and just build up. And now Selgeon gets 5k power. Deck shuffle. Now let's call Tethvault and see if we can get a booster. Soul Blast 1. Look top 5. Call another Selgeon is crazy. And then we'll call our grade 2 and now we can use the grade 2 skill. So we'll counterblast 1, Vanguard gets Twin Drive. It's like, I kind of want to dig for defense and pieces, so we're going to call another Selgeon. You know what? Nah, we won't call that. All right, so we're going to go 13 to Vanguard. Twin Drive, first check, critical trigger. We'll go power here, crit to Van. Second check, heal trigger. Jesus Christ, that's awesome. We'll go here and we'll heal 1. Awesome. And they got no damage triggers. You love to see it. 28 to Vanguard. All right, and then skill. Pop off. Look at top 2. I'll take the crit for defense and we'll put the OT back to the bottom of the deck. And then we'll go 33. All right, I knew you had the perfect guard. Skill. Now, we definitely want to use Selgeon here because Selgeon removes itself. Do we have enough defense? We're at 1 damage, yeah. I'll grab Ezel and put this to the bottom of the deck. So, the reason Selgeon is really good in this deck, I mean, Selgeon's good in every counter deck, but it clears itself off. So, if you guys remember, Ezel's skill to call off the top of the deck requires us to have 3 or less rear guards. So, it encourages us to clear out our rear guards and to use our intercepts. We want to kind of keep this grade 2 if we can, just because it can clear itself now with our opponent being at grade 3. And because right now we only have 4 attacks because we have no way to clear out Tethvault. But if we can call this other grade 2, we will be able to get 5 attacks. But this is what I was talking about with us having to play around our own mechanic. Not calling Din Drain was a little bit eh. I would have liked to intercept with that. Not calling Din Drain was a little bit eh because Din Drain can clear out the Tethvault, right? But without that, we now have to call over it to be able to get 5 attacks, and that's annoying that we have to play around our own mechanic because now I have minimum 2 cards in my hand I have to save, which is a grade 3 and my grade 2 if I want to make sure I can get 5 attacks. And then afterward, if I don't get rear guards that can remove themselves, I can't get 5 attacks. So that is a problem inherently with this deck. All right, let's see what he's gonna do here. I believe he gets 4 attacks here. Yeah, he's gonna bounce one in hand and discard one. We'll discard Platina. He's already at 4 damage with 3 cards in hand. Then most likely we're gonna try and kill him next turn. I do gotta be careful though because we're out of Platinas. We have 1 Platina in deck. We do have 1 in hand, so that's fine because we're gonna ride into it next turn anyway. Oh, that's another thing. We have to wait till turn 4 to be able to get I guess that's technically not different to get Persona Ride. Whereas Ezel used to be able to go turn 3, ride into another copy of Ezel, get Persona Ride. 33 is a lot. We'll take that. 23 is not a lot. We'll guard that. 26 is fine. He's gonna use skill to get an extra attack. Gonna bounce one, call one. We're gonna no guard here. That's a draw trigger. That's pretty good. And a grade 3. All right, front trigger is dope. Oh, cool. Gets another attack. Another big attack. I don't want to intercept this grade 2 because I don't want to chance us not. I mean, we have 8 cards in our deck that can get us, that can clear out a front row. He's attacking the rear guard. That's fine. And we'll discard. He was smart. He got rid of the rear guard that can get rid of itself, but left the Teth Vault. Definitely smart. All right. Now, in order to clear Teth Vault, I have to draw. Whoa, hold on. I forgot about this. Now, in order to clear Teth Vault, I have to draw into a Dindrain, or it's just a card I can't get rid of. Now, I believe he checks top 3, right? Yeah, top 3. All right, top 3. That's actually a pretty good call. We'll go call here since we can call a unit that can clear itself. And then the other 2 go to the bottom of the deck. Right? Yes, okay. And then skill, we're gonna put a card from our hand into soul. When this unit is placed on rear guard, put a card from hand into soul. I guess we'll put a trigger. Now we look at top 2. 1 comes to hand, 1 goes to soul. You know what? Well, 1 goes to hand on the top of the deck. We're gonna put this to the soul. We're digging for either the grade 2 or the Dindrain. Now we ride. Now we go main phase. Skill. We counterblast 1. We get to grab our order from the drop. So remember, the cost is either to counterblast 1 or to give to put one of our Ezel rear guards into soul. So he has 5. He has the extra 2 kicks. I have Ezel in the soul, and he has 5 kicks. I use the skill. Now we're gonna play our order to check top 7, and we got Dindrain. We're good. So we're gonna call Dindrain. That's all we needed. Shuffle. I didn't even look at the rest of what was available to be called. Dindrain was the important one. And now Dindrain's skill, we Soul Blast 2 and Countercharge 1. So Soul Blast. We don't want to Soul Blast Ezel. Soul Blast, Countercharge. Then we're gonna call. Skill, Counterblast 1, draw a card, and why not call? So because our points at grade 3, our front row gains 5k. We don't get the critical because we're not at 4 damage, but I'm fine with it. And we have our on attack skills. So we're gonna go battle phase. We're gonna start off with this column because Coco can gain a power boost. So she's gonna gain 10k when attacking a grade 3. So we're gonna go. Wait, did he automatically gain the 2k? That's weird. Okay. Okay, we're good. So we're gonna go 38 to Vanguard. 38 is a nice beefy number. Okay, no damage trigger. And then we're gonna go skill. We're gonna go bottom deck. Stand. And it gets the 5k from our order. If you now, when this unit attacks a grade 3, you may have it gain 5k power and put it to the bottom of the deck. Okay. So we're gonna go swing skill. He's gonna gain 5k. And now he's gonna go to the bottom of the deck. All right, so he's gonna go to the bottom of the deck. We're gonna Energy Blast 3. We're gonna draw a card. Now we're gonna swing Ezel, and we're gonna use Ezel's skill, which is a Counter Blast 1, look at top 7, choose 2 grade 3 or less, call them, and they both gain 10k. Oh, he gains 10k. Call them, this unit gets 10k. Okay, so he's gonna get 10k power. And then we're gonna look at top 7. And we're gonna call 2. And we actually got like the best 2 we could call. Because they're gonna pump each other up. Oops, shit. I haven't shuffled, so we're fine. We're gonna call you. And now we shuffle. And now these guys have plus 5k from Ezel's skill. And our opponent is not guarding. Twin drive. Front trigger's dope. GG. He left without even giving us a G. Now, while that went really, really well for me, we're playing against a deck that's not that great. In at least, unless I'm wrong, he could have done things wrong. I don't really know that deck too well. But you see what I mean about having to play around our own mechanic. All right, guys, here's one more look at the deck. And while I got to do cool guy things in that game, you could also see why we have to play 4 of the specific rear guards to be able to make our deck function properly. And that just does not feel good. If you guys are fans of Ezel, let me know what you guys are trying differently and how you guys are circumventing that problem. Because if I didn't get Din Drain on that 4th turn, I was going to call Tethfault from my hand and use Tethfault to try and keep digging for either Din Drain or one of the Great 2s to be able to clear the front row. Because like you can't get 5 attacks without it. The deck does have an okay early game now, but not seeing this card makes your turn 2 feel a lot worse. And then the fact that you can't get its power boost and it's cleared until grade 3 means no, you can't get multi-attack in this deck before your opponent's at grade 3, which doesn't feel good either. So it is what it is. There's so many decks that can just get 5 attacks even if your opponent's at grade 2. But I guess because you can get it by grade 1, not letting you get multiple attacks before your opponent's at grade 3. I guess it makes sense, kind of. But that's my problem with this deck. It's a fun gimmick, and when it goes off, it can go off pretty well. But it's just, I don't like playing around my own mechanic. But guys, give me your thoughts down in the comments. If you guys want to check me out on social media, those links are down below. If you guys want to come by for the next Vanguard stream will be Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, I would love to have you guys. That's going to be it from me. I'll catch you guys on this video. Later.
In my eyes, I was born for this. I got demons on my side, you ain't right like this. I got reason to believe, I don't need it from my gifts. Only I can change the world and it go like this.